You don't need me to tell you that the news headlines this week have been dominated by this really frightening situation in Ukraine. So much uncertainty. There's so much violence there that really is having an impact on us here, right? Think about the fact that there are Ukrainian Americans here that are living with the anxiety and the unknown about their family there, and the rest of us feeling fearful, feeling anxious. You're not alone. There are things that we can do to help kind of get through some of these feelings. We turn to the lady that we know can often help us through these tough times, Dr. Michele Nealon, the hearts, the smarts. She's the president of the Chicago School of Professional Psychology and very generous to give of her time. We were feeling it. And I thought, if we're feeling it, let's just see what Dr. Nealon is experiencing. And you say that you've seen an uptick in the stress and anxiety as well.
I truly have. Always so nice to see you, Michaela. Yes, people are saying that they're stressed, they're anxious, and they're outright fearful. The reality is that our tanks are running on empty right now. We have already come through a very serious global pandemic, and we're not done with it.
Yeah.
This is the time of the marathon that we would hopefully just sit and relax. But as our grandmothers say, we're worn out. So this is true chronic stress that people are now saying they don't have the emotional reserves to try to get through another round.
Okay, so talk to me about that chronic stress, right? Because that does need our attention to recognize it in our loved ones, in our peers, in ourselves.
Yeah, so chronic stress is that feeling of just being worn out. So a short-term stress is like having to take an exam or having to give a speech. You're nervous, but it's kind of like the medium thrust of anxiety, but you can get through it. Mm-hmm. Chronic stress is persistent. It is consistent. So things like a divorce, financial issues, unemployment, all of those things that go on and on and on.
They shake your foundation, right?
They shake your foundation. I always liken it to, really, as I had said, grandma says we're worn out. And that's what chronic stress is, emotionally, physically, and mentally worn out.
And that's where we have to come to a professional like you to get some help, because the fact is the sleepless nights on top of this chronic stress is going to have an impact on our health. We know they've shown us a clear delineation about the effect of stress on the body. So we can't change the situation in Ukraine. We can't change single-handedly the economy or the climate change crisis, but sometimes it feels like all of that is on our shoulders. What can we do, Dr. Nealon, in our own space to support some good well-being?
So we pull on what I call our rocks. And those are the things that we do have control over and that we're able to do by ourselves. So the top three, I will always say the go-to. You have to focus on adequate sleep.
Yeah.
You have to focus on a reasonably healthy diet. That's your fuel.
Yeah.
And then you've got to move. I'm not talking about going to the gym, pumping 300 pounds.
Even just going for a walk around the block in the sunshine, right?
Totally. Get outside. We live in California. Get outside. And Michaela, a quick tip here as well. You can practice mindfulness while you are walking.
Sure.
You can simply focus on right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot. And when your mind wanders to something else, bring it back. Right foot, left foot. And then those are the real rocks. And the other two
are the metaphoric rocks, right?
Yes, yes. So the other two are reach out to your support system. Yeah. We all have families and friends, people that love us and that we can just, vent to, ask to give a little help. And then I'm always the advocate that if you're feeling way too overwhelmed, if your relationships are suffering, if your work is suffering, and your general well-being is suffering, pick up the phone and find a mental health professional. Yeah.
There's no shame in that game, my friend. It is here's the thing. We have generations of people who have been brought up to believe that it's a weakness to reach out to ask for help. Make the case to those folks that it's not. There's no shame in this for them.
No. Do you know, Michaela, I love you for saying that. If I was there, I would give you a hug. You are doing such an important thing for all of your listeners by talking about what you just said. There has been a chronic stigma about saying that you're not feeling well emotionally. We don't feel that if we say that I have asthma or I've got a headache or so on. But because you air issues related to just our general well-being, you're breaking down that stigma. There is no shame. There's certainly no stigma. In fact, it is a sign of personal strength that you value yourself and your well-being so much that you're going to go get support to keep you being strong and a fighter in this world.
And sometimes it's just about getting tools in the toolbox. Sometimes it's just to be a realignment of priorities. Sometimes it's just having a safe place to vent some of that stuff. We all need help. None of us can do this alone. This is a trying time. Let's recognize that. That's why we do what we can to bring you some joy here on the air, to make you laugh, to distract you from some of it, but then also have these tough conversations with people like Dr. Nealon, because we can't do it alone. We just can't.
Nope.
Okay, Dr. Nealon, here's the deal. We're going to lean on you again. You know how I am. Because again, this is not going away overnight. We hope that the hostilities in Ukraine come to a peaceful end soon, but we can't guarantee that they will. Let me ask you, before we let you go, one of the things that will cause adults additional stress is worrying about their littles. And our littles, they see the headlines, they see the TV, they know Ukraine, what is happening? Is this World War III? What is this nuclear? They're anxious. How do we help them through this?
Yeah, so important. A couple of things just to really quick take you through this one, Michele. So our children model what they see. So the first piece of the first line of attack of this with our children is we got to keep ourselves in a great, steady, calm, can-do, safe space around our children. So they will pick up on that. The second one is very serious, actually, on this one. Children that are constantly exposed to the grim realities of war, even on a television, it can definitely cause stress, anxiety, and fear, but in some cases, it can actually traumatize children. So turn the television off. You know, use your phone to catch up on the news, but turn it off. It is okay in age-appropriate ways to reach out and say to your children, look, you know, I'm sure that you've heard about this war in the Ukraine. Do you have any questions? Don't be afraid of their short answers or if they just brush you off. The point there is to engage. And then always, again, the staples. If you're watching a change in their behavior, their mood, in how they're thinking, pick up the phone, get yourself support with your children, and get them the help they need.
And by the way, acknowledging their emotions is going to go a long way, right? Acknowledging it in yourself is going to go a long way too. I am so grateful for you. Thank you for being by our side through these difficult times and these difficult conversations. God bless Dr. Nealon. Good to see you.
God bless you in return. Bye, Michele.
Okay, take care.